Hi there, I'm IELTS Mike, IELTS tutor and examiner. In this video, I'm going to talk to you about the IELTS listening test and some techniques that you can use to improve your score. Essentially, there's three areas of skills that I'm going to talk about today. The first one is pre-listening skills. This is what you need to do before the recording even starts. Before you're using your ears, you need to be looking at your test paper and predicting information and working out what you need to be listening for, so that when the recording starts, you're primed and ready to get the right answers. You can use your pre-listening skills in the pre-listening stage, which is the time before the recording starts. You must prepare for what you are going to hear, as this gives you a greater chance of success in catching answers. There are four main things that you should try and do during this time. First of all, you should check the instructions so that you know things such as how many words or numbers you can write, and also what type of questions are being asked. You should skim and orientate yourself to the text to try and establish the context of what the recording is about. You should underline keywords and questions and also think of synonyms of these. You should try to predict the required information that are going to form the answers. Let's look at these in a bit more detail. Checking instructions. First of all, have a look and see whether you can write both words and numbers for your answer, and this will give you some sort of clue about what sort of answers to expect. Second, have a look how many words or numbers you can write. Let's have a look at the example below. It says, write no more than 2 words or numbers for each answer. This is important because if you write 3 words or numbers, your answer will instantly be wrong. So you must know the maximum number of words and numbers you can write. And again, this will give you some sort of clues. If you know you're only expecting a maximum of 2 words, this could have influenced what sort of answer you're going to be expecting. First, we want to skim the questions and orientate ourselves to the text or recording that's coming. To orientate is to get some sort of sense of direction. Essentially, we want to be doing 2 things. The first is to establish the question type. Now, this is extremely important because we want to use different strategies for different question types. For instance, if we're asked questions about a map, we're going to be using different strategies than if we're asked questions such as multiple choice questions. Second, we want to be establishing the context. We want to be trying to make intelligent guesses about what the upcoming recording is going to be about. We want to know roughly what the topic is, and we may see key words that indicate this to us. Next, we want to start to underline some of these key words. We want to underline words that will help us to catch the answer. At the same time as doing this, we want to consider synonyms, because some of these words may be rephrased. For instance, the phrase how much might be rephrased as the price is. Keywords in the question can give us clear indications about what sort of answers to expect. For instance, if we see the word who, then we know we need to listen out for a person. If we see the word where, then we need to be catching the name of a place. The words how many signal that we need to be catching a number. Right, let's now see an example to see exactly how to put these pre-listening strategies to use. Okay, so over here on the right, we've got our pre-listening skills. 4 pre-listening skills that we want to go through. And over on the left, we've got our test paper. So the first step is to check our instructions. And we can see that there are 5 questions here. The key part really is here, that the answers should be no more than 2 words or numbers. So just remember, if you write 3 words for your answer, it'll be wrong, even if you've got the right 2 words. So exceeding the limit is immediately an incorrect answer. Okay, the next thing we might do is to skim and orientate ourselves to the text. Let's have a look what you can notice. We see something about Springfield here. Down here, we can see something about Homer. Homer, have you heard that name before? I seem to recollect the name Homer. So let's just highlight these couple of words, Springfield and Homer. You might be thinking of The Simpsons, that's what I'm thinking of. So before the recording even starts, I'm thinking that it could be about The Simpsons. Okay, number 3, underline keywords and think of synonyms. Okay, so keywords that are going to help us find answers. In this sentence, we've got how many. That's a key word. So we'll underline that. And then we need to know how many states. So states is important. How many states named Springfield? Okay. And so we're going to expect a number. So in terms of number 4, we're expecting a number, probably not too big a number. It's America, there are only 52 states. So it's going to be a maximum of 52. It could be 0, maybe there's 0, maybe there aren't any. But it's not going to be a huge number like a million. So by being prepared for what sort of number, it'll make it easier to catch the answer, especially if we hear more than one number. We'll be able to eliminate any very large numbers, but there couldn't be any higher than 52. Okay, let's look at question 11. When is an important word. It's going to be something about time. When was the show first broadcast? And note show, this is again making me think that it might be about The Simpsons. So Springfield show, Homer Simpson. Okay, so when was the show first broadcast? We're expecting something like a year here. Question 3, what is duff? So we're going to have to hear this word duff and then write down what we think a duff is here. And remember, no more than 2 words or numbers. I would predict this will be about numbers here. Okay, and then question 13. The keywords, what is Homer's job? So we're going to need to hear the name of a job. If you think to the TV show, and if this is about the TV show, we always see him in a nuclear power plant, but what does he actually do there? So we're going to want to hear that piece of information about his job. We could think about jobs a little bit. We could awaken our brain to jobs. I mean, is he a cleaner? I don't think he's a cleaner. Maybe he's some kind of engineer. I wouldn't expect him to be a manager, just knowing his personality. Okay, so we need to hear the job for that question. And then number 14, how many hairs does Homer have? Or how many is important in hairs? We need to hear about how many hairs Homer has, presumably on his head. I'd be thinking, part of this predicting, we can think about what sort of answer do we expect, and also, given that it's a number, we could think about how many. It could be 0. Maybe he doesn't have any, or maybe he's got a couple. But again, I wouldn't expect this to be a large number. So I'd be predicting we need to hear a number and that it's a low number. So finally, we've got some sort of idea about keywords that we need to listen out for. In this case, if we hear Springfield, or something about the number of something about states, how many, maybe the words how many even, then we're listening out for a number. And we want to know for question 2, probably a year or date when the show first broadcast. If we hear words like first broadcast, we know that the answer's coming soon. With this one, we're expecting a word. With this one, we're expecting the name of a job or a job title. And with this last one, we're expecting a number, and we're thinking it could be 0 or at least a very low number. Okay, so this is what you want to be doing before the recording even starts. Now, what I suggest you do is have a look at the next video, which is about what to do when the recording actually starts playing.